He's unbeaten in his last 8, and his goals against of 256 ranks 3rd in the National Hockey League, behind Mike Liut and Patrick Waugh. Randy Ledesser and Sivan Cote, they open up for the Whalers on defense behind the big line of Pat Verbeek, Ron Francis, and Kevin Dineen, the most productive trio that Wrigley has put together this season, and he has juggled the lines around quite a bit, reuniting these three just last night against the Flyers. Uwe Krupp, number 4, is on the Buffalo defense. Mike Foligno gets it out to center ice. Foligno is playing with Pierre Turgeon, number 77, and Dave Andrechuk on the left wing. Mike Ramsey is also on the ice as we look at the 11-year veteran Mike Foligno, and there are our officials standing at attention. Rob Schick in the middle, Brad Lazarevich at the top of your screen, and Dan McCord at the bottom.
You would think they'd know the game has started by now. If we looked at the officials, an interesting point, Rick. Rick Dudley, as the home team coach, he has the last say in matchups, and the Whalers going with their big line, Francis Verbeek and Dineen. He puts his big line out, Turgeon, Foligno, and Andrechuk. Power versus power.
Here's Foligno. Down he goes off the check from Pat Verbeek, but Rob Schick blows the whistle, and Verbeek will head for the penalty box at the 49-second mark. And the Sabres quickly get the game's first power play opportunity. Verbeek, the Whaler penalty minute leader, with 72 now.
You know, he's going to call this tripping, as Foligno makes a pretty decent move here. Well, you can see he takes him to the ice. I'm going to call that holding rather than tripping, but nevertheless, the first power play of the game goes to the Sabres.
Now the Sabres on the power play rank only 14th best in the league, just under 20% efficiency with 20 goals. Somehow they have been very successful without a sharp power play unit.
Like as I said in the opening, this is really a tough rink to have a great power play. It's a lot easier to defend in this rink because you get to the puck much quicker.
And Buffalo will open up with Alexander Mogilny, Christian Ruuttu, and Ray Shepard up front. The point men will be Doug Bodger and Phil Housley. The Whalers have Ledesser and Cote backing up Jody Hull and Mike Tomlak. A couple of youngsters out on the penalty-killing unit for Rick Lee. Ledesser trying to keep the play in. Here's Housley with a pass to the shifty Mogilny. He'll fire it in. Tomlak hustles over to the boards. He's met there by Shepard. And Tomlak angles it off the boards, and he'll send the Sabres back. And the Whalers will send Dave Tippett and Dean Evason into action. Doug Bodger drives it in. Sidorkiewicz can't get to the pass. Randy Ledesser comes up with it for Hartford. Sends it off the boards, and Bodger kept it in. Sidorkiewicz keeps it away from Shepard. Mogilny back to Ray Shepard. Tips it in front, and Dave Tippett will gulp it out to center ice. We have a minute remaining on the penalty to Pat Verbeek. No score. Nearly 2 minutes gone in the opening period here from the odd in Buffalo as Ruuttu is checked by Ledesser. Cote will sail the pass down the ice, and the Sabres have yet to get set up with a man advantage.
They're having a tough time gaining possession in the Whalers' end. You know, the Sabres really like to move the puck quickly, and I think the Whalers were prepared for that because they're doing a good job at the center ice area.
Here's Andrechuk, their power play leader, with 6 goals. His pass, though, is golfed into the seats by Adam Burt, the 20-year-old Whaler defenseman. 32 seconds remaining on the penalty against Pat Verbeek.
The Whalers catch a break here, Rick. The faceoff's going to be outside. Referee Rob Schick says the puck was deflected by Pierre Turgeon into the seating area, and that's why the faceoff will be outside.
We spoke with Rick Dudley before the game. We'll have that conversation at the first intermission tonight for you. He and Rick Lee, a couple of hard triers from their days with their respective teams.
Just a couple of guys named Rick. You're next, I guess, to be behind that bench.
No thanks. Particularly don't want to travel the road those two have traveled. Many years coaching in the low minor leagues to get their opportunity in the NHL. Here's Foligno working it out in front. It's tapped away by Sidorkiewicz. Grant Ledyard shoots, saved by Sidorkiewicz, and Burt chips it away. And once again, the puck ends up in the crowd. 11 seconds to go in the penalty. You look at Pierre Turgeon. He's 20 years of age and already a star in the NHL.
He's a good one, Rick. Here's a shot by Ledyard from the left point. Sidorkiewicz just hiding a little bit. He had a tough time locating this puck as Foligno was bothering him somewhat in front, but he did get his body in front of it. Turgeon, I think he's 4th in the league in scoring. He's up there, and He's the new boss here in Buffalo. He's on the ice at all important times.
He got the winner in a victory over Quebec in the final seconds of regulation time. The Sabres won 3-2 last night over the Nordiques as it's Kevin McGuire, checked by Brad Shaw. Jeff Parker drops it back, Kennedy shoots it. It's tipped wide by Robert Ray as the penalty to Verbeek has expired. Kevin Dineen starts it into the zone, drops it for Verbeek. His shot is deflected by Ray, and that sails over the glass and out of play. So we've had plenty of souvenirs for the crowd here at the On in the first 3 minutes.
Looking at Darren Pupa, the brilliant young goaltender of the Sabres, and the one reason why I feel he's better this season, he's a lot stronger than when he first came into the league. Physically stronger, and he comes from a winning background.
He sure does. He was top goalie at RPI when the Engineers won the NCAA championship in 1985. Here's Robert Ray with a steal. He shoots the save by Sidorkovich, reaches out and covers the puck long enough for the liking of Rob Schick. Ray Ferraro lost his helmet in a skirmish around that net as we look at Ray.
You see the puck take a weird bounce off of McGuire right to Ray, who was turning to come back with his man. And here's the shot. Peter Sidorkovich slid over. Went down a little early, but once again he had a fight to get his body in front of the shot, and that's the job of a goaltender. Get your body in front of it.
This has got to be a tough start for Peter, Terry, because we alluded to how little action he's seen 2 games in the last month.
Well, the first 2 saves were rather routine, but very important to Peter. Like you say, Rick, being not in action for some time, you like to have a couple of routine shots right off the bat. Not too many of them, though.
On the face-off, Evason plays it up the boards to Scott Young. Sabres keep it in. Scott Arniel with a pass, and Sidorkovich sends the puck around on the boards. Mogilny has it. He tries to cut away from Steve Dykstra. The centering pass to Arniel, and his shot is wide as Babbitt gets it to Young. Doug Bodger controls. Christian Ruutu is met on a solid check by Babbitt. Bodger lifts the pass in deep. 4 minutes gone in a scoreless first period here from Buffalo, the Whalers and the Sabres. Dave Tippett drives the puck in. Scott Young is checked by Bodger, makes the pass to Tippett. Housley locks up with him, and Christian Ruutu gave it up to Young. Housley recovers it for the Sabres. He sends it out by Mogilny. Trying to get fancy taking that pass, and Ruutu will send it the rest of the way in. Vivek Kote just off a broken toe in his left foot. In fact, he took a shot on that foot at the end of last night's game with the Flyers. There was some question as to whether he'd be able to play, but he says he's fine, and he is in the lineup for the Whalers tonight. Chris Benares takes down his man Ray Shepard. Tomlak starts it in. Couple of Sabres go to work on him, and Randy Ledesser has to wait for the zone to clear. Didn't wait long enough, and the whistle blows.
In this first 5 minutes, Rick, there's every indication that both these teams played last night. Very slow start here tonight. Both coming off of coming in late last night to this game.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Hartford Whalers and the National Hockey League and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Hartford Whalers, the NHL, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers in this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the Hartford Whalers. We look at Vivek Kote, who before his injury really was off to the best start of his career. And that pleased Rick Lee quite a bit.
Certainly did. Boy, he was not only played great defensively at the start of the season, he was involved offensively in a lot of big goals for the Whalers.
I think he had a winner against Buffalo in Hartford.
2-1. Just a late goal to beat the Sabres.
Sabres have taken 2 of the 3 games. They won here 4-1 in mid-October. The Whalers answered back with a victory on home ice 2-1, the game Jerry alluded to, a week later. And the clubs met in Hartford earlier this month, and Buffalo won it 6-3. Pupa has been in goal for both Buffalo victories. Benares is crunched behind the net, still centers, and Foligno steals the pass. He'll backhand it down the ice. Sidorkovich comes out as Turgeon's lurking around that Whaler net. Cale Anderson can't clear. Apparently he did as Grant Ledger shot it back on net. And the whistle blows. 14:24 remaining in the opening period. No score.
Both teams playing very close to the vest. They're just waiting to see who's going to get the first break, and nothing has opened up yet. I don't think there's really been a threat for a goal. Good solid defense by each team.
Uwe Krupp's pass is dug away by Adam Burt. Dave Tippett gets it back from Dean Evison. Krupp holds up his progress. Mike Ramsey backhands to the point. Bradshaw shoots, and Pupa comes out to meet the shot. Krupp one-hands it to Dave Andrechuk. Shaw keeps it into Tippett. Krupp heads for the corner. Evison gets away from Foligno. And the Whalers keep it in. It's Burt with a long backhander over the net. Scott Young centers, and it's off Evison's stick. Burt tries to hold the play in. Tippett is forced back to center. Bradshaw with a pass for Evison. Gets it to Scott Young, who's been red hot offensively for the Whalers. Big drive is on goal. And Krupp handles the rebound as the Whalers send out Francis, Verbeek, and Deneen. Now backed up by Babbage and Dykstra. And we get Foligno and Verbeek going at it. And as the gloves go off, Verbeek misses with a wild right hand, but connects with another one. And he gets the upper hand on the larger Mike Foligno.
Now you got to admire Pat Verbeek. He stood there. He knew that Foligno was going to get the penalty, you know. Like his original call was going to go to Foligno, I believe. But when Verbeek says, listen, I'm not the type of player that's going to sit back. It's early in the game. I got to go at this guy. And that's exactly what he did. He did. Looking at Captain Mike Foligno of the Sabre, he gets the extra 2 minutes for instigating this. You see right here, Verbeek gives him a little shot. Now, watch it where the gloves come off first. It's by Foligno. Well, we're going to miss the start of it. But the Whalers will go on their first power play.
But they will not have one of their key power play men on the ice. It's Verbeek, who has been red hot this month. 6 of his 8 goals in November have come with a man advantage. Whalers hitting on 31% efficiency here in November. Here's Ruutu backhanding it on goal. It's steered away by Sidorkovic. Ruutu puts it in front, and he knocks the pass away. He locates the puck as the Whalers have Govidaris, the 19-year-old rookie, taking Verbeek's spot with Francis Anthony backed up by Babbage and Scott Young. Sabres have killed off 15 straight power plays, so it's a pretty good matchup here on special teams. Minute 20 remaining on the extra penalty to Foligno. Mike Hartman is serving it. No score. 12.5 minutes to go in the first period as Young drives it in. Pupa sends the puck off the glass around to Scott Arniel. Deneen backs up the play. Finds Francis. He slips away from Uwe Krupp. Arniel joins the battle along the boards as Krupp knocks Francis down. Babbage chips it over to Young. He has to play it at center. Pierre Turgeon is right on him. Mike Ramsey makes the pass to Krupp. Turgeon cruises in across that Hartford line. Babbage is there to meet him. He pries it away to Young. Whalers change up in the power play as Paul McDermott and Ray Ferraro are on with Jody Hall. Here's McDermott one-handing it just wide. He's after his own rebound. Speeds Young. Young keeps it in deep to Ferraro. Dean Kennedy takes it. Backhands it between the point men. 18 seconds remain on the Whaler power play, their first chance.
Dean Kennedy's been a pleasant surprise for the Sabres. Just picking him up after training camp, and in the games we've covered against the Sabres, he's been one of their better defensive defensemen, certainly.
Bradshaw has trouble with a puck. It's taken by Ruutu. He's in alone. Save by Sidorkovic, and he just pokes the rebound away from Parker. Hartman's out of the box as he throws a check at Hull. Buffalo's back to full strength. McDermott to Ferraro. He shoots. He scores!
How often do big saves at one end result in goals at the other end? As Peter Sidorkiewicz in the Whaler net robbed Ruutu, and down came the Whalers to get the first goal. Here's the puck over to Ray Ferraro as McDermott somehow got it to him. This is going to go up top on the catching side of Darren Pooh. That's one spot where I don't think I'd shoot on Poopa. So we'll see it right here. Ferraro gets it up very quick. This is a great sign for the Whalers. Ray Ferraro scoring last night and again tonight. As we all know, he's one of the best streak goal scorers in the league. Boy, he put that up there. Dimple City.
Ferraro with his eighth, and McDermott with a nice assist. He picked up 2 assists in last night's win over Philadelphia. The Whalers open the scoring at 8:52. Hull also assists on the goal. Here's Parker shooting a pass saved by Sidorkovic. Devancote controls. Pass around to Hull. This unit got the first goal of the Whalers last night. Sidorkovic knocks the pass down. It's sent wide by McGuire. McDermott is rocked on a hit by Hartman. 2 of the harder hitters in the NHL colliding there.
This is an important line for the Sabres. And Rick Dudley likes to use them when they get down an early goal. He puts this line out, and this wakes up the team.
Bill Housley looks for room to roam. Has plenty of it. Sends the pass into Hartman. Here's the shot by Shepard. A save by Sidorkovic. The rebound in front. It's still loose, and it's just popped wide as Ladouceur cuts away from Parker. Anderson can't clear the zone. A shot by Hartman is on goal. A stick save by Sidorkovic, and Tippett grabs it. He's checked by Dave Snuggerud. Ledger, the pass ahead for Robert Ray, another rugged forward in this Buffalo lineup. The play is whistled down by Brad Lazarowicz. Offside.
Well, the only spark the Sabres have shown in this game is the line of Parker, Hartman, and McGuire. They come on after the Whaler goal, and they just started taking the body, and that led to a couple of good scoring chances for the Sabres. Like we said, Rick, at the start of the game, they have a good blend. You know, they have. What did Dean Evison? Well, I talked to Dean Evison before the game, and he said physical type guys like being called meatheads.
We'll hear more from Dino later on in the second intermission. In the meantime, Robert Ray is escorted to the penalty box on a slashing call at 10:13, and Hartford will go back on the power play for its second opportunity. He seemed to get tangled up right off the face-off out at center.
He's a very feisty type player, Robert Ray is. You know, we mentioned also at the opening, they have 4 or 5 guys that are very similar to Rick Dudley the way he plays. No one knows about Rick Dudley. Rick Dudley had great hands. Not a great skater, but he had great hands. He's a great lacrosse player, you know.
And he played professionally, didn't he?
Yep.
Here's Scott Young with a pass into the skates of Ron Francis. Snuggerud on the steal to Rutu, cutting in. Down he goes as Babbage will go for hooking. Rutu's bargaining for a penalty shot, but it will be a 2-minute penalty. 9:34 remaining in the first period.
See, Kristen Rutu almost broke free, but Dave Babbage pulled him down. He'll take the hooking call. Rutu remained on the ice on his fanny and was questioning Schick that he thought he deserved a penalty shot, but he was not in clean.
So each team down a man. 1:45 left in the Ray penalty. Here's Andrechuk. He feeds Mike Ramsey. Andrechuk has it back. Turgeon with a quick release, and Burt blocked it. Troop with a wrist shot, a save by Sidorkovic. Francis controls the puck. Burt goes down off the meeting with Andrechuk as Francis pushes the pass ahead. Turgeon snuck in there to knock it down, and Troop takes the offensive for the Sabres. Back to Ramsey. Fires in front, and he was hoping to hook up with Turgeon. Andrechuk sweeps it behind the net. Sidorkovic got his stick on the pass. Adam Burt gets rid of it. Troop gets over there to save the play for Buffalo. Whalers are in front 1-0. Both teams down a man. We've got a penalty upcoming to the Sabres as Andrechuk controls. And Schick will wave somebody out for a slash. And it looks like Turgeon will be the man to go.
It will be Pierre Turgeon. He'll take the slashing call right here. Oh, gee. This could have been worse than a slashing call. He got off easy. This could have been a spear and an attempt to injure. I mean, if he saw the slash, this is a good way for the refs to bail out. He'll say, I'll just give a slashing call. But this is the third Sabre penalty. 1 instigating penalty and 2 slashing calls. That's not That's not the signs of a team that's first place overall percentage-wise in the NHL. You don't take penalties like that.
Gary, for our New England viewers, they saw the Flyers take a few ill-advised penalties early at least in the second period of that game, and the Whalers made them pay.
Well, for the next minute and 2 seconds, they'll have a 4-on-3 advantage. Turgeon could have been watching the rest of this game from the stands if that call was correctly made.
Here's Adam Bird on the 4-on-3 skater advantage for Hartford. Ramsey gets to the pass. Burt has it back, though. Chips it into Ferraro. He has the Whalers' goal. Jody Hull heads for the corner against Krupp. Kicks the puck back to Burt. Adam Burt takes the shot. Saved by Pupa as Ferraro is getting position right in front with Ramsey. Ramsey takes his time. Makes the pass to Arneal. He's the lone Buffalo forward out there. He's now joined by Gene Kennedy and Doug Bodger. 20 seconds remaining on the penalty to Rob Ray. Here's Ferraro shooting from the angle, and Pupa was ready with a pad save. Bradshaw looks for Jody Hull. Beats Burt. Looks for Ferraro. The pass is behind him. Arneal backhands it to the blue line, but Shaw saved it for the moment. Arneal still battling out there at the point with him, and he forces the Whalers to center. Teams are now at even strength as Ray has returned. Dave Babbage is set to come over the boards. Here he comes. It's now a 5-on-4 skater advantage for the Whalers for 40 seconds. Ruutu met by Cote. Ruutu shoots, and it's well wide. Snuggerud bumped right into Sidorkovich as Dave Babbage will start the rush-up ice. Ruutu steals the pass. He's been tough to get around in these penalty-killing situations for the Sabres. Francis goes down and still makes the play to Cote. Kevin Dineen spins away from Kennedy as Cote in front. The shot is off the skate. Cote leaves it in the corner. Kennedy gets to it. He'll slide it down the ice, and that should take care of this rash of penalties as Turgeon will be back in 4 seconds. Ladouceur drives the puck in, and the teams are finally back to full strength. Hartford still leads 1-0 with 6:44 remaining in the first period. Randy Ladouceur takes a big hit from Kennedy. Brent Ledyard with a pass to Hartman. Pass skipped off Ladouceur's stick right to Kevin McGuire from the angle he shoots.
I'll tell you, this was a blast by McGuire. He got a fortunate break off the far boards and took advantage of it. He's just going to get at the top of the circles and right foot right on the glove side and the short side. You know, you got to play your percentages, McGuire. You got to get out there and just don't let him score where he scored, even though it was a bullet. Peter was on his way down, and this is why the puck went, why he got beat up top on the glove side. You know, McGuire is not the type of guy that's going to come in and finesse you. So he's a guy you take a couple of steps out against. But I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes it's lucky you don't make saves like that, as that was a missile going up there in the top corner. 2 goals, both over the gloves of each goaltender into the top corner.
McGuire has contributed offensively this season, getting a lot more playing time maybe than he did last year. Is McGillney cutting in. Ledyard with a shot. It's deflected by Chris Kovaderis, and Sidorkovich covers the puck. We're now tied at 1, 6:17 remaining in the first period.
Here's a look at Peter Sidorkovich. Tough situation on him. Here's the chance just previous to that. Brent Ledyard that did not get good wood in the play. Heads-up play by McGillney to get the puck to Ledyard. McGillney's got a tremendous amount of skills. He's going to break out one of these days. He's just feeling his way around the NHL.
Doug Bodger with a shot that's wide. Shaw gets to it. McGuire scores his 5th goal. He had 8 all of last season. The goal at 13:31. The assist to Mike Hartman and Grant Ledyard. Here's Dean Evison back with the Whalers. The backhander is steered wide by Housley. Doug Bodger got a stick up near the face from Dave Tippett. We have a penalty upcoming against the Whalers. And Bodger is checking up around the forehead, the eye area. Looks like he's all right. Schick checks him out as well, and he's got a penalty to Tippett.
This will be 2 minutes. The question was if the blood was drawn or Then it would have been a 5 minutes and a see you later. But Dave Tippett's not the type of player that plays with the stick above his shoulders off, and as he tries to poke the check, you see the stick come right up there. Quite accidental.
As you see, connected to the front of that hit on the helmet. We could hear it up here, and wow, that was scary.
Yeah. What happened to Dave tried to just hook the Bodger's stick, and Bodger's moved the stick all of a sudden, and the momentum of his swing took it right up into the facial area. The Whalers will be missing one of their top penalty killers for the next 2 minutes.
Sabres are on their second opportunity. Here's Turgeon to shoot it in. Cote blasts it up the boards. It's deflected down the ice by Evison. Bodger is back.
This is one of the arenas in the league where you really have to shoot it in on your power play. It's just too easy for the opposition to load the blue line, not allowing you to carry it in.
Foligno taps it away, shoots the save by Sidorkovich, and he covers the puck with a whistle as Foligno danced around. Randy let us serve.
Then again, if you back in, it's easy to carry the puck in. That's what happened here. You see Ladouceur backed off the play. Good job by Foligno poking it over him. Sidorkovich's out top of the crease to make the save. This is a building, once again, to your defense has got to stay up. If you stay up in this building, you're going to have some success in here. It's just, when you back in, you give them too many chances.
Housley's shot doesn't get through. Sidorkovich plays it up the boards. Housley has it once again. 1:20 left on the Tippett high sticking call. The pass was deflected by Evison, and out comes Sylvain Cote. His long shot is fended off by Bupa. Shots are 11-6, unofficially favoring the Sabres at this point. Here's Turgeon. Behind the back pass is dug away, and Hull will send the pass down the ice. Bodger was picked up last November from the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he contributed 47 points in 61 games with Buffalo. He's been a key in their power play. Housley's shot is tipped by Mikhail Anderson, and the puck ends up in behind Peter Sidorkovich. 44 seconds to go in the penalty.
One of the reasons teams get into trouble killing penalties, and why what the ploy of the Sabres is to go as quick as they can, get on the attack as quick as they can. A lot of teams want to go back and be more methodical about it. And when the Sabres turn it over quickly like that, it just forces your defense to back in. You can see in that last rush with Housley leading it that the Whaler defense, as soon as they see him gain the speed at center ice, they just back right off. The heck with it. Stay up.
That was something the Whalers were able to do a lot last night, and helped in holding the Flyers down to 2 goals on 20 shots as Francis controls the face-off, and it's cleared down the ice by Shaw. 4.5 remaining here in the first period. Ferraro has scored for the Whalers. Kevin McGuire has answered for the Sabres. Both even-strength goals as Ledger drives the pass in. Ramsey is met by Mikhail Anderson, the former Sabre. Here's Ray Shepard to Ramsey, shoots, and it's blocked by Anderson. Shaw will calmly send the puck down the ice. Brant Ledger started his career with the Rangers, moved to the Kings, on to Washington, and he came over at the trading deadline along with Clint Malarchuk from the Caps last March. Sidorkovich clears the puck away, Tippett returns. The Whalers are back to full strength with the score still at 1-1. He runs into Alexander Mogilny, now works hard to clear to Pat Verbeek. Verbeek is surrounded by Sabres as the Whalers change up behind him. Deneen and Francis join Verbeek up front. Mogilny in trouble again. Goes Rob Schick. He can't get out of the way.
He's been hit earlier in this game.
Babbitt shoots. Saved by Pulpa. He stops Francis on 2 rebound attempts. And the third one pops in front to Mogilny. Swings in on Dykstra. Nearly danced right through. The Whalers break up the rush. Big Uwe Krupp at 6'6", 230. Gives it up to Kevin Deneen. He waits. He shoots. A stick save by Pupa. We talk about coming out to meet the shooter.
He's almost offside.
Dykstra fires, and it's deflected wide as the shot was blocked by Parker. Here's Hartman. Pass is broken up by Deneen. Verbeek is met by Hartman, who wants to try Verbeek on for size. McGuire hounded by Deneen. Bodger. The pass to Hartman. He's met by Evison. Dineen swats it in deep in that Buffalo zone. Whalers trying to keep the forechecking going here with 2.5 to go in the first period. Cote did not keep it in. Dan McCourt blows the whistle. We get the offside call.
But since the Ferraro goal, the Whalers didn't have many opportunities in Pupa, but in the last couple of shifts, led by the Francis, Dineen, and Verbeek line, they had was their best chances, and we'll go watch right here. Here's the shot by Babbage and saved by Pupa. Ronnie Francis has one. The second whack, and he gets himself painted into a corner here. And the next chances we'll see is led by Kevin Dineen breaking up a pass. He likes to shoot. We're talking, Rick, look at how far Pupa is out. That's good goaltending. It's up, once you make the save, it's up to the defense to make sure the second shot doesn't go near the net.
Maybe one factor in why Pupa played that shot the way he did. This is his 18th appearance already this season, and Sidorkovich, who didn't come out of McGuire's shot, hasn't seen much action at all. You got the confidence rolling, and you're unbeaten in your last 8 decisions like Pupa is. You're ready to come out.
Sure, he's an intelligent goaltender. When he saw where Kevin Dineen was, he said, listen, my job is to go make sure that Kevin Dineen doesn't score from there. If he passes it, fine. It's up to the defense. I just want to make sure Kevin Dineen doesn't score. I think he could have, one more stride, he could have put his arms around him.
Might have blocked the shot right from the blade of the stick. Evison works between Young and Tippett. Cote and Ladouceur are the Whaler defensemen, and it's Cote firing in front, and Evison trying to convert on the pass. The shot went wide. Ladouceur keeps the play in that corner. Tippett battles to get it in front. Turgeon takes control. Here Turgeon swings in with Foligno. Looks for Foligno, and Sidorkovich got his stick on that pass as Cote is trying to hold off Mike Foligno. Tippett cuts in, fires in front. Krupp is in position to clear the pass right to Turgeon. He lost the handle on it. 1.5 minutes remaining in the period. Foligno steps into Ladouceur. Cote makes the pass to Tippett. Whalers want to change up. They'll get McDermott, Ferraro, and Hull on the ice. They've been a pretty good forechecking unit. Last night was their first game together. Sidorkovich out to clear the puck. Kennedy rushes, gets there in time to keep the play in. Snuggerud hooks it in front, and Bradshaw intercepts. Jody Hull is on the move for Hartford. Ledyard goes back, and he's belted by Ferraro with 1 minute to go in the period. Snuggerud with a pass to Kennedy. Rob Ray cruising down that left side, overskates the puck, and Shaw gives it to Ferraro. Hull backhands it in. Pupa had trouble with a bad carom off the end boards. Hull throws it in front. Ferraro circles back to take the pass. He's met by Ray. The pass ahead for Snuggerud. Now behind the play, Ferraro still tangled up with Ray, and Ledyard's involved as well. Now things settle down as the Sabres change up for the final 20 seconds. Babbage makes the pass to Dineen. Steps away from Scott Arneal. Whalers get Verbeek and Francis on to join Dineen. Tries to cut in on Housley. Francis scoops up the puck. Centers, and it's broken up by Bodger. 3 seconds to go. Rutu waits for that horn, and he hears it. Now looks back at Pat Verbeek, who's been the object of quite a bit of attention from the Buffalo Sabres. Particular resiliency under head coach Rick Lee that maybe wasn't there before.
No, I like the way the Whalers play, especially on the road. The record indicates that they're a gritty bunch. You know, and I think the acquisition of Pat Verbeek during the offseason has really helped him in that area. He's you talk about feisty and gritty, that's Pat Verbeek.
And Verbeek leads the Whalers with 16 goals. He's among the league leaders in that department, as a matter of fact. Darren Pupa says he's ready for action. These teams will pit one top line against the other once again. Ladouceur will shoot the puck in the Buffalo zone, and Mike Ramsey, the 10-year veteran, back for it. Andrechuk, checked by Francis. Cote shoots a pad saved by Pupa. Lino Finds Andrechuk. Kote's right on him. Dineen backs up the play. Ritz it toward the net. It's tipped over the net by Francis. Verbeek gets it to Francis. He couldn't find Dineen. Andrechuk uses that 6'3", 215-pound frame in the corner. Dineen gets away. The backhander is stopped by Pupa. Francis chips it out in front over the fallen goaltender. And as Turgeon controls, we've got a penalty upcoming to Andrechuk.
One of the reasons the Whalers have been so successful on the road is their ability to forecheck it and gut it out like we were talking at the start of this period. You see Andrechuk, he's in the box for taking Kevin Dineen down. That was a result of just one word, that's effort by the Whalers in that opening shift in the second period. They just buzzed the Sabres, but they're being rewarded by going on a power play. You don't win on the road, you don't win at home, you don't win anywhere unless there's effort involved.
The Whalers have won 5 of their last 6 road games. Here's Babbitt shooting, and he sends it wide. Dineen tries to get to that rebound. Makes the pass to Francis. Ramsey sends it up the boards. He's got Rob Schick. And Dineen is shoved right out of there by Christian Ruutu. Ruutu has been a threat on shorthanded situations all night for the Sabres. Hartford has its 5th power play opportunity. 2 of them were the very brief variety. Dineen, chased by Uwe Krupp. Finally, Kevin is forced back to center, and Krupp works the puck free. And he'll send the Whalers back. 1:18 remaining on the interference call to Dave Andrechuk. He went off at the 39-second mark. Dave Babbitt cruises through. Leaves it for Scott Young. He tries to hook up with Francis, and it's slapped away by Ramsey. Babbitt holds the fort. Kennedy blocks his pass. Young is watched by Arneal. Ramsey and Verbeek go shoulder to shoulder in that corner. Verbeek struggles with the puck, gets it to Francis. He hooks it in front. Ramsey drives it away. Young keeps it in. He gives it to Babbitt. Across to Francis, to McDermott. He couldn't one-time it, and Ramsey plays it off the boards. Turgeon will backhand it down the ice. 35 seconds remaining in the Whalers' power play. We're tied at 1. Just over 2 minutes gone in the second period. Pupa clears the puck this time. Back comes Scott Young. Young with 13 points in his last 9 games. 9 of those 13 points have come on the power play. Makes a 2-line pass to Jody Hull, and it's quickly whistled down with 14 seconds left in the penalty as we look at Doug Bodger. He's one of very few Sabres who've missed time with injuries this season. He was out 8 games with a sprained knee. Buffalo's man games lost to injury statistic is only 37.
That's very low, Rick, and that's one of the reasons they can remain competing at the top of the National Hockey League. They haven't had many serious injuries. Rick Vaive missing with a groin pull. Benoit Hogue, one of their 3rd or 4th line players, has been out most of the season, but you need breaks in this game. Everything has to fall your way to be in the position the Sabres are in.
They come in with the best percentage record in hockey, 14-5-4, 32 points as McDermott gets away, starts it up ice. Andrechuk's out of the box. Adam Burt maneuvers in. Looks, fires, trying to hook up with Ferraro. Bodger blocked it. Shaw shoots, and it's deflected in front of Pupa. Andrechuk will slap it down the ice. No icing. Jody Hull with a pass to Burt. Whalers come into this game 1 game under 500. 11-12 and 1 on the season. He's coming off a 4-game homestand where they had only 1 win. Here's Bodger cutting in, backhanded in front. They score! Bill Housley makes it 2-1.
Wow, when one defenseman is leading the rush, whoever's back for the opposition's got to turn around and see what's happening behind you. No one spots Bill Housley, Bodger's defense partner, coming from out of the blue towards the front of the net, and he just pokes it between Peter Sidorkowicz's legs. Let's watch where Housley's come from. How often do you see this play? One defenseman to his partner in front of the net. We'll see it again from the end zone camera, the opposite end camera, and you'll see Housley come right from the red line in towards the net as Bodger was leading the play. They're getting a little chuckle out of this. I always get a kick out of it when one defenseman passes to the other defense in front of the net.
Housley celebrates his 499th career point as he scores his 6th goal at 3:14. Bodger gets the only assist on the goal. 2-1, the Sabres have their first lead. Here's Dave Snuggerud. The pass. Ray is blindsided by Cote. Ray's checking for the license plate number of that truck that hit him.
And he's talking to Cote as he skated by him.
Mikhail Anderson steals, he shoots, and Pupa comes up with a save. Tippett races back with the puck. Ray Shepard gets ahead of him. Ladouceur comes there to meet him in the corner. Snuggerud and Tippett continue to battle. And we get a whistle. And a penalty upcoming for holding.
The Sabres will go on their first power play the second period. Dave Tippett will get the holding call. And laugh at Rob Ray. He's a little spark plug for the Sabres. He took a tremendous hit. It seemed to me from up here that he just kept talking and chirping at the ref or at Cote.
Adam Burt clears the zone. The Whalers are shorthanded for the third time in this hockey game. We've played just over 4 minutes in the second period. Buffalo has taken a 2-1 lead. Brad Shaw steals a pass, and he'll send the Sabres back once again. Housley's on the move. Housley with plenty of room. Tries to turn back. Fell down. Jody Hull angles the pass to Mike Tomlak. He gets to it. He shoots, and it's fended off by Pupa. Brad Shaw follows up. He tries to bottle up Dave Andreychuk. Foligno gets the rush underway. The lead pass for Turgeon. He weaves his way into the zone. He's met by Burt. Foligno, the pass around for Housley. Andreychuk drops it back for Housley. Into Foligno. Watched by Burt. 52 seconds remaining on the penalty to Tippett. Foligno back to Housley. The wrist shot, and it hit Andreychuk. He winces in pain after that shot hit him. It appeared on the elbow pad, perhaps, and it's clear down the ice. Whalers get Francis Anthony on to try to finish off the penalty. Cote joins Burt. Christian Ruutu checked by Cote. Housley's in deep. Sends it back to Andreychuk. He's there to meet him. Pass skips away from Housley. It's golfed to the corner by Sidorkovich. Ruutu takes over. He flips it to Mogilny. Back out to Ledger. Takes the shot, and it's just wide as Ruutu is trying for the deflection. Mogilny is belted by Cote. We've got a Whaler penalty to Burt coming up for dumping Andreychuk. The pass in front. Andreychuk shoots. He scores!
Well, Christian Ruutu gets a chance in the second unit of the Sabre power play. Makes a great pass here to Andreychuk in front of the net. Here's Ruutu. He sets up Wayne Gretzky. There's a delayed call on Adam Burt, but Andreychuk just gets here. Look at this little pass right here. The puck's in before anyone can move. Andreychuk, he gets great position in front of the opposition's net. He's one of the better players in the league to make sure his stick's in the position to receive the pass. He's a big, lanky guy. He's hurting a little bit, I guess. He's just fixing his glove. Never hurts when you score. That was a great little pass by Christian Ruutu. He tried that 2 or 3 times on that last power play.
Well, the Sabres were jamming the net, and it finally paid off for them with 2 seconds remaining on that penalty. And with the power play goal, that penalty's wiped off, as was the delayed call. Andreychuk gets his 14th. Here's McDermott with a pass, knocked away by Pupa. He was hoping to hook up with Hull. Ruutu and Mogilny assist on Andreychuk's 14th. He has 7 on the power play. Here's Hartman shooting a save by Sidorkovich. The rebound got away from Kevin McGuire. Kennedy gives it to Ledger.
You certainly can't fault Peter Sidorkovich in both Sabre goals this period. I'll tell you what, give him some credit for that save right there. He wasn't fast enough. No one would be fast enough to move on a shot like that, as Hartman had a garden spot shot. He just stood there and took it right off the chest area.
Buffalo's jumped out to a 3-1 lead with a couple of goals here in the second period as Ledger with a pass taken by Hartman. Kennedy will deflect it into the Whalers zone, and former Sabre Steve Dykstra, who spent nearly 6 years in the Buffalo organization, makes the pass around to McDermott. Puck dropped behind Ramsey. He finally locates it. Whalers get Chris Gouvenaris, Mikhail Anderson, and Mike Tomlak on the ice. And it's Tomlak who starts it in. Anderson is forced to the boards by Ray. Gouvenaris goes down. Cote angles the pass in deep. Ramsey sends it up the boards. And by Cote, Zarowicz signals for an icing call. The fans object, but the whistle blows. 12:32 remaining here in the second period.
Well, there's a penalty here, Rick. Rob Ray. They got the board really messed up, but Robert Ray is going to go to the box for an unsportsmanlike conduct call. So the Whalers have a chance to get back into this hockey game with a successful power play. He must be really a chirper, Robert Ray. After that collision, I guess he's just didn't shut up. And there's only one way Schick could quiet him down and say, get over to the penalty box.
Well, last year he had 446 penalty minutes in Rochester down the road in the American League.
Well, it doesn't make you tough if you get all your penalties like this.
You have to find many ways, I guess, to get to the box when you have that many penalty minutes. The Whalers will get another power play chance, and this is where they have to start capitalizing as they find themselves down 2. Scott Young can't get a shot away, gives the puck to Dineen. Back to Young. Babbage with Rutu racing after him. Verbeek to Francis to Dineen. He's stopped by Pupa. Verbeek shoots. Saved by Pupa. Ramsey gloved it out of there. Dineen back to Young. He fires, and it was blocked by Krupp. The puck comes down to Babbage. Taken away by Rutu, and the Whalers are forced back.
Now, Pupa's had to make his best saves of the game in that last sequence of tries for the Whalers.
Young held up by Turgeon. Verbeek will try to cut him off. Turgeon waits for help. He slides the pass over to Big Krupp. Lets it go. He scores!
This game can change so fast. Once again, we get a case of Pupa being very sharp at the other end, and the Sabres coming up to score a shorthanded goal. Where did everyone go? You have an extra man on the ice, and all of a sudden, Huey Krupp has plenty of time to tee it up. You see right here, right between the legs of Peter Sidorkiewicz. You know, we keep saying Peter has a struggle at times when he wants to go down, but I mean, this man he could have had a cup of coffee and a donut by the time he let the shot go. The Whalers just failed to go after the puck.
Or in his case, maybe some strudel.
Coffee and strudel, very good. Being a West German, Huey Krupp, in case the viewers don't know.
Krupp with his first goal. It's a shorthanded goal, the 4th for the Sabres this season. Here's Ferraro starting it in. The pass to Mikhail Anderson. He shoots and he misses the net. Turgeon gets the only assist on that shorthanded goal at 8:24. The lead is now 4-1 Buffalo. The Whalers are forced back to neutral ice. Fired back on goal by Bodger. Adam Burt looks for some room to roam, trying to get away from Dave Snuggerud, who worked hard in these shorthanded situations for the Sabres. Anderson kicks the pass to McDermott. It's golfed away by Kennedy. And it's Snuggerud, the rookie out of the University of Minnesota, who plays it. It's sent back in offside. 18 seconds left on the unsportsmanlike penalty to Rob Ray.
Rick, you mentioned Dave Snuggerud, who works very hard. I guarantee you he was not supposed to make the Sabre team until his effort at camp. Now, here's the saves by Pupa at the beginning of the Whaler power play. There's the save we're talking about right there. Even though that wasn't a textbook save, it was still a great save. Boy, how do you...
It better not be hurt. How do you explain an injury like that? Get one to the back.
Getting back to Snuggerud, I don't believe he was even thought of it being a Sabre until his effort at training camp.
Sabres took him in the supplemental draft. He was overlooked in the entry draft and was taken in the supplemental draft 2 years ago out of the University of Minnesota. Here's Anderson cruising in. Really, Snuggerud's development might have been the reason why Anderson became expendable in Buffalo. He was exposed in the waiver draft, and Hartford picked him up. Penalty's over. Ray tries to get the shot away. He sends it wide. Paul McDermott. The pass to Anderson. Cuts in. Sails the pass in deep to Ferraro. He let it go. He thought he had someone working behind him. 10 minutes to go in the second period. Buffalo has scored 3 goals. In the second period, the lead 4-1. Govidaris is pressed by Hartman as Randy Ledesur makes the pass off Hull's stick. Bodger takes a swipe at it. Hartman has it. Tries to hook up with McGuire. McGuire slips it into Parker. Parker centers, and it's behind Housley, who snuck in for the blue line. McGuire shoots, and he rockets it wide, and Hartman missed in the rebound. Parker gave it up to Govidaris. Then Cote chips it ahead for Tomalak. Cote starts it in. Govidaris with a shot. It's tipped by Housley. Mike Tomalak controls the puck. Tried to center, and Pupa got a stick on that pass. Parker with a pass, and it's tipped away by Cote. Sidorkovic backhands it up the boards for Jody Hull. Tomalak couldn't hold the pass as Arneal is decked by Ledesur. We've got a Whaler penalty upcoming as Krupp is back. Sure it will be in the Ledesur hit. Krupp steers the play in. One-handed in front, and it's sent wide by Ray Shepard. Root 2's the extra man on for Pupa. Bodger fires, saved by Sidorkovic.
It's very clear that the Sabres are taking over control of this game. Here's the trip right here. You see Randy Ledesur gets his left leg on Doug Bodger. It takes the 2 minutes for tripping. The Sabres are just putting much more into the game right now than the Whalers are.
Housley tries to keep the play in. Dean Everson, though, picks up the puck. Tippett joins him. Everson shoots wide. Brad Shaw in from his defense position. Tries to kill some clock in that Buffalo zone. Sabres are on their 4th power play chance. They scored on their last one on the goal by Andrechuk. Here's Mogilny trying to start the play in. The pass hit Ruutu. Mogilny with Housley sending it across. Ledyard gets a crack in this power play unit. Burt pokes the puck free. Shaw steps away from the Soviet defector Alexander Mogilny, and it's backhanded down the ice by Shaw. 1:15 left in the tripping call to Ledesur. Under 8 minutes to go, second period. Buffalo already has a 3-goal lead. They're trying to add to it. Here's the pass back to Ledyard. The pass in deep to Turgeon, and his speed was deflected away by Babbage and cleared.
That was a strange play by Turgeon. It seemed he wanted to backhand it across, not to the front of the net, to the far dot. And it was intercepted.
Turgeon drives it in. Sharp carom off the boards. Cote saved the day for the Whalers there, as Sidorkovic had no chance in getting back. Andrechuk, 36 seconds to go on the Whalers' penalty. Dave Babbage bounces the puck down the ice. Doug Bodger has an assist in the second period. Housley, Andrechuk, and Krupp have the Buffalo goals. Here's Housley cutting wide, shooting, save by Sidorkovic off the chest. He makes a stop on Foligno and traps that loose puck at the side of the goal with 13 seconds remaining on the penalty. Don Lever has a word for some of his troops on that bench. He and John Tortorella are the assistants for Rick Dudley. Tortorella is a longtime associate of Dudley's as he coached in the Atlantic Coast League, the International League, and in the American League. And Rick Lee followed the same path. Coached against each other in the Atlantic Coast League. Ricky with a lot of his experience in the IHL with some very successful teams in Muskegon and Milwaukee.
It's nice to see a couple of guys like Rick Lee and Rick Dudley, who served their apprenticeship down in the minors, and they get a chance in the National League. I think they're both very good coaches. And now it seems that Dudley's better coach than Rick Lee, but not the case.
Here's Krupp. He'll have to start again at center. 10 seconds remaining on that Ladouceur penalty. Deneen knocks down the pass. Hartman recovers it. He'll shoot it into the crowd.
It's always easier when your team's going the way the Sabres are going. And it's easier to coach that way. It's the sign of a good coach is when your team's struggling. That's when you have to be the best. That's when you have to be the best as a coach. Is when a team is down and struggling a little bit. Anyone can coach when you're sailing.
Well, Ricky's tried a number of combinations, and we alluded to how he has juggled the lines earlier in tonight's game. And in the first period, anyway, it looked like he had found some combinations to augment the efforts of Verbeek, Francis, and Deneen. But as a team, the Whalers have sagged in this one. Penalties over. Ladouceur's out of the box. It's 4-1 Buffalo with 6.5 remaining in the second period. Adam Burt tries to shoot it in. Francis takes control, and it's broken up at the line, but the play is offside. Here in watching the Whalers' success in recent road games, it has been a while since they've been in a road, about 10 days. They haven't always started quickly in the first period, but they've gotten their legs and started to play their game as the night went on. That hasn't been the case tonight.
No, Rick, they just, they had a little spurt in the first period, about the middle 5 or 10 minutes. Since then, not much. This is very similar to the last time they played in this building, when the Sabres went 4-1 and just controlled most of the hockey game.
Ruutu chops the puck down the ice. Sidorkovich out to play it, bounces it to center, and Cote controls. His pass is dug away by Ramsey. Kevin Deneen fires on goal to top Pupa's pass. Ramsey with a pass ahead for Scott Arniel. Another crazy carom around that Whaler net, and once again Cote gets to the puck after 5 people skated by it. Ledyard on the Buffalo defense across to Kennedy, who was picked up the day before the season began from the Kings in a trade for future considerations. Jerry mentioned he's performed well and played very solidly in this Buffalo defense. Turgeon cruises in. Andreychuk gets it on goal, and a stick save by Sidorkovich. Ledyard chases down the rebound. Paul McDermott drops it for Ferraro. Ledyard leaves it on the boards. Shaw throws it toward the net. A stick save by Pupa. Hull backhands it behind the goal. Ledyard will send it down the ice. Backboard, it's Adam Burt, and icing is the call against the Sabres. 4:34 left here in the second period. Our score, the Sabres 4 and the Whalers 1.
With the victory by the Buffalo Bills today in the NFL, Buffalo remains the only undefeated city in pro sports right now.
I don't think the Bills have lost at home in a couple of years, and the Sabres looking to extend their unbeaten streak on home ice to 11 games if they protect their lead. Still have a lot of hockey to go, though. About 24 minutes. As Andreychuk with a pass ahead for Pierre Turgeon. Dave Babbage takes over. Turgeon steals, and his pass was broken up by Babbage. Andreychuk shoots a save by Sidorkovich. Polino throws it in front. It's grabbed by Sidorkovich, who will take the whistle. Pierre Turgeon kind of lurks in the shadows sometimes. You don't always notice him, but he's always there.
That's right, Rick. He must have been great as a kid at hide and go seek, because a lot of times you can't find him on the ice, and you read the paper the next day, he's got a goal and a couple of assists, and if you're playing against him, all of a sudden he pops up in front of you. Good hockey player. And here's a player sort of confusing. Ray Shepard. I kind of thought he was going to be a possible 40-50 goal scorer, and he fell in his favor with the Sabre management. Didn't get much of a chance last season in this. But now with the injury to Rick Vive, he's getting a chance.
He came on the scene a couple of years ago. What a tandem he made with Turgeon. They were both rookies, and Shepard had 38 goals and finished second in Newendijk for the Rookie of the Year award. But things have changed. Here's Deneen charging in, shoots, and it's blocked by Krupp and deflected into the seats.
The last 10 minutes of this period, Rick, has just been just been all Sabres. They're just taking the body, they're crashing, they're forechecking, they're doing everything perfect.
Dykstra holds up Housley. Ferraro turns around. Bodger's after him. Ferraro can't turn him inside out, and the Sabres clear. 2 minutes to go, second period. Steve Dykstra was in training camp with the Sabres. Came to the Whalers right after the season began. He's playing his 9th game with Hartford. He started the year in Binghamton in the American League. Here's Evason. Checked by Bodger. Tippett controls. Back to Evason. Looks for Scott Young. And Tippett reached in there for the pass as well. Tippett. The pass to Young gets free. He shoots. He scores! Scott Young got away from Parker, and it's 4-2.
That is the first time that the Whalers in a long, long time have sustained any pressure in the Sabres' end, and it resulted in a goal. Good work by Tippett, Evason, and finally Scott Young with a quick release. Pass Pupa. Watch this pass. We can see it from up here that the backhand pass was coming. And the way Scotty's shooting the puck, he was a big favorite in that situation. He's just releasing it so quickly. As you can see, Pupa wanted to go down to make the save. It's a strange game-playing goal. If Pupa gets out to the crease, it just stands there. It's no goal. Why does a goaltender, young, old, or whatever, want to go down? I can never figure it out. I know I let hundreds and hundreds of goals in like that. You say to yourself after the game, why did I want to go down?
With as much control as the Whalers had there, do you get a little mesmerized, maybe?
I don't know. I don't think there's any answer to it, really.
Krupp shoots, and he misses the net. Young scores his 10th from Tippett and Evason at 18:28, and the Whalers have some life here. They're down 2 with 1:10 to go in the second period. Ramsey bounces it in. Sidorkovich keeps it moving. Ladouceur works against Snuggerud, and Ruutu. Kote evens things out. Ruutu comes up with it. Ruutu is shoved to the ice. Arneal sends the pass in behind the net. Ruutu tried to center. It's off the back of the goal. The puck bounces to Dineen. And Dineen is hooked to the ice by Scott Arneal. Here's Francis with 35 seconds remaining in the period, angling the pass to Verbeek. Verbeek to Dineen. The pass is in his skates, and Snuggerud backhands the puck out to center. Adam Burt swerves into that zone. Dineen couldn't one-time the shot off the pass. Verbeek with a pass to Dineen. Looks for Verbeek. The pass is behind him. Adam Burt fires, and it hit Ramsey. The puck comes to Turgeon. 7 seconds remaining in the period. The long drive is snared by Sidorkovich. For the final couple of seconds here in the second period. And the horn sounds. So Darren Pupa.
Unit as a team. You just play right into the opposition's hands when one player tries to go through the whole team. They have to get it in deep in this arena. Just go to work from there.
Adam Burt is paired with Brad Shaw behind the Francis line. Turgeon, Andrechuk, and Foligno work in front of Krupp and Ramsey for the Sabres. As Francis drives it in, the pass will reach Dineen. He sends it right through the goal mouth. We'll have an icing called upcoming here against the Hartford Whalers.
I'm sure the Sabres are quite content to have the game remain at this pace with a 2-goal lead. It's early in this period. They play 2.5 minutes, but it doesn't. There's nothing to me that suggests that the Whalers are going to put a full-court blitz on the Sabres.
You know, Ronnie Francis will try to get something going. He has had a heck of a month with 17 points in 11 games here in November. Last year was quite a struggle for him. No goals and 8 assists, but he has certainly gotten off to his best start, perhaps in his 9-year career with the Hartford Whalers. Brad Shaw works into that corner, and he fries the puck ahead for Dineen. Verbeek and Francis bring it in. Adam Burt was the 4th man in that rush, but the Sabres contain the play well. Shepard, his pass broken up by Burt. Dineen. The pass ahead for Francis. Verbeek carries it in, leaves it for Francis. Verbeek gets to it. He was checked by Ramsey, who's off to an all-star-like start for him this season. Kevin Dineen fires into the goal mouth, and Ramsey took care of Verbeek. 3-on-2 for the Sabres. It's Ray on left wing. Held up by Shaw. Krupp follows up. Bradshaw with a good play in the Whalers' defense. Verbeek slips away. 2-on-2 with Francis. Francis snaps the shot off. It bounces by Pupa's glove. Francis sends it off the boards. It caroms in front. Turgeon dropped it back for Krupp. He sails it rink wide. Dykstra hustles back to get to it. He does. And he touches up for the icing call. 16:15 to go in the third period. Buffalo Sabres lead Hartford 4-2.
One thing the Sabres have done well this year is play good defense here in the third period, as you mentioned, Rick. And right here you'll see number 5, their best defensive defenseman. He's going to let Kevin Dineen have the puck on the angle, and he'll just turn with Pat Verbeek. That was his job when Kevin was turning to make the play to the front of the net. You know, he's the talk of the media around here, that he's just having a tremendous year when it might have been thought that he was on the downside.
The injuries finally caught up to him last year. He played in only 56 games, and he really was not the usual Mike Ramsey. Here's Mike Tomlak for the Whalers. Out in front, he lost control of the puck to Foligno. Turgeon hands it to Housley. Back to Turgeon. He had to reach back for the pass. It caromed to Tomlak. Bodger is back defensively. Tomlak waits for help. Dykstra joins the attack. Steve Dykstra one-hands it in front. It's chipped away by Housley. Andrechuk plays it off the boards. Ahead for Turgeon. Turgeon dipsy-doodles in there, gives it to Foligno, and he fires the shot on goal. A save by Peter Sidorkiewicz. Foligno backhands it into Turgeon's chest. Turgeon had it poked off his stick by Dave Babich. Chris Govidaris, the Whalers' first-round pick in 1988, playing in his 6th game. And this is his first NHL season. Works to clear that zone. The Sabres will dump it right back in. Babich to McDermott. Broken up by McGuire. And Parker touches it. We get the whistle with the offside call, and it will be an intentional offside called by Dan McCourt. That'll bring the draw all the way back to the Buffalo zone.
We don't see that too often, the intentional offside call. And I think it should be called more often. There's no need for Parker to touch that puck as he's leaving the Whaler zone. Kevin McGuire is questioning McCourt. Hey, listen, doesn't need an explanation. Just drop the puck and get on with it.
We get Rob Schick's view from the corner as Ferraro and Andrechuk will take this draw. Ferraro going to glove it to Cote, and it looked like it might escape detection. Brad Lazarowicz had a look at it, and he said it's a hand pass, and they'll face off once again, this time outside. Pads of 6'3". Darren Pupa. Here he mentioned his success at RPI. He was 31-1 the year they won the NCAA championship.
Pretty good year. But he had a freak injury last year with that shattered right arm hitting the crossbar.
He was injured against the Canadiens in a game here in January. Was out for the season. As you mentioned, he came back in excellent shape. And bulked up a little bit. And he's a little sturdier this season. His partner is Clint Malarchuk, who played last night in Quebec. The Whalers, of course, have the NHL leader in goals against average, Mike Liut, in the lineup, but he is backing up Peter Sidorkiewicz this evening. Ledyard with a pass around to McGuire. Ferraro hooks it back to Randy Ladouceur. The Whalers are 2 goals down with 14:20 to go in the third. Mikhail Anderson with some good moves. Shoots a pad save by Pupa. Ledyard looks up ice and he finds the tough guy, McGuire. He's checked by Ladouceur. Cote keeps it moving. Hartman intercepts, throws it toward the net. It's tipped wide by McGuire. Ferraro lifts it high in the air. He wants to head off on a line change. Ramsey controls for the Sabres. The Whalers get Evason, Tippett, and Young on the ice. Ruutu is on as well for the Sabres. And he bumps into Bradshaw in that corner. Ladouceur with a pass swept away by Ruutu. Ramsey shoots and it's kicked away by Shaw. Tippett outmaneuvers McGillney on the boards. Tippett chips the pass ahead. Crew pulls up Evason. Tippett slips in there. The play is offside. 13:24 left here in the third period. The Sabres lead it 4-2.
There's a shot of the new VIP boxes here at the Odd. Is there some talk of a new auditorium taking place here in Buffalo?
They're going to make an addition here and even lengthen the ice surface, which is less than 200 feet regulation. I believe it's 196 in length as Shepard drives it in. But their plans are for more than just that. Many more skyboxes are, I'm sure, included in the plans. Sabres are offside.
This is quite a sports town. There's your David Snuggerud from the Canadian Olympic program.
Well, fans were going wild out at Rich Stadium this afternoon, weren't they, for the Bills? Their convincing win over the Bengals. And
they're homers.
I'm sure a number of people have found their way from that game to the auditorium tonight.
They have not set records, Rick, in minor league baseball, all attendance records of this beautiful stadium here.
Yes, they have. They, I believe, have drawn over 1 million 2 consecutive seasons. They have a lovely Pilot Field located here in the downtown area, not far from the auditorium, and they're hoping to be granted an expansion franchise in Major League Baseball. They feel they have the capability of expanding the capacity of Pilot Field, adding a second deck and perhaps expanding the attendance capacity to about 40,000. Troop angles the pass into the corner. Bradshaw picks it up there. Makes the pass to Dineen. Kevin gets it back. His pass for Verbeek is behind him and offside.
One thing going against the Whalers this period is the fact they've been offside 5 or 6 times. That means you're getting a little too anxious. That means you're not attacking the opposition's blue line as a unit.
Pat Verbeek, who's enjoyed a pretty good season series, 3 goals in 3 games coming into this matchup.
We played 8 minutes and the shots are 2-2.
The Whalers will try the Evason line to get something generated here. In the meantime, Turgeon's line, which Jerry, of course, is the most explosive offensively for the Sabres, but they've got the high plus-minus figures as well.
You can see that Dudley has faith in them defensively because he started them out against Ronnie Francis, Kevin Dineen, and here's another offside. And Pat Verbeek. Phil Housley, who's over the years, he's really had quick starts in seasons. He looked like he was a Norris Trophy favorite in the first month or 6 weeks or 2 months. And this year he's got in a different pace. He seems to be, the time he was usually tailing off, he's now picking up momentum.
Seems like he takes control more when the club needs him rather than just trying to force the issue all the time.
He's been helped out for the first full season by Doug Bodger. That certainly doesn't hurt.
Experience should make a difference for Housley. He's now in his 8th season in the NHL. We look at Scott Young, who is on his way to perhaps bettering his rookie goal-scoring total. That's Northrop Knox, one of the Sabres owners, reaching over to...
He wants the puck to get back in the play. He knows it's going to cost him $1.55 or something.
Few hats on display tonight here at the Odd. And Young, with his 10th goal tonight, he had 19 last season, and he has been red hot recently. The Whalers like to see him continue that a little bit more here in the 3rd period as they trail by 2. Dave Babbitt starts the rush in, and it poked away by Bodger. Young couldn't handle a pass. We've had some crazy bounces out of that corner, and Mike Foligno hands the puck to Pierre Turgeon. Foligno steps around Babbitt and then curled the pass back, and Young intercepted. Dykstra's held up by Bodger. Young trying to get it back to Dykstra. Turgeon couldn't take the pass. Young handles it. 9 minutes gone here in the 3rd. It's 4-2 Buffalo as Mikhail Anderson works the puck toward Pupa. Ledger's pass is knocked down by Evason. Anderson storms into that corner along with Kennedy, who looks to cover the puck for a whistle. Now play has to continue. Ledyard is crunched by McDermott. Hartman takes the pass. He'll backhand it in. Cote sends it out of the zone. Kennedy plays it right back in. Lattiser pursued by Parker. Cale Anderson couldn't get it out. Now finally the Whalers do. McDermott steps around McGuire, who was looking to take McDermott down in that center ice zone. Ledyard's pass is taken away by Cote. Ferraro pressured by Kennedy. Lattiser sends it in deep in the Buffalo zone. No icing. Ledyard bumps Verbeek out of the way. Angles the pass to Hartman. Francis has to hang on. Dineen and Verbeek are trapped in that zone. Dineen starts it in. Struggles away from Kennedy. Shoots! And a save by Pupa. He just got a piece of that one. Cote with a drive that's wide. McGuire angles it off the boards. Dineen kept it on the line. Kennedy, though, intercepts, and he'll play it off the boards and down the ice. Sidorkovich is going to have to play it and wipes off the icing. Verbeek has trouble penetrating that lineup of 3 or 4 Sabres. Somehow gets through with a backhand. The shot is tipped just wide by Dineen. Centers and nobody's home. Ray lifts the pass down the ice.
Well, this last shift by the Francis line has picked up the Whalers some. They've had a couple of chances. Pupa making his best save of the period on a Dineen shot.
Ramsey lifts the high pass at center. Shaw had trouble with that spinning puck. He's checked by Ray, and Francis grabs it. Francis now joined by Hull and Govidaris. Ronnie steps around Krupp, throws it in front. Govidaris takes the pass, looks for Hull. Out in front to Francis. He just tipped it wide as he was skating by the net. Fans are getting a little restless here as the Whalers begin to get the forechecking going. They were helped in turning things around a bit by Paul McDermott, throwing a few hits out there. Arneal's pass knocked down by Hull. It'll be icing with Ramsey getting to it. 8:19 to go here in the third. Buffalo leads by 2.
We're looking at Jerry Meehan, the general manager of the Buffalo Sabres. He's probably quite excited right now, knowing he's going to be on the front page of Hockey News as the executive of the year if this keeps up.
It's off to a big start here. This team 14-5-4 through the first 23 games. Last year, they were 12 points behind this pace, with 9 wins and a couple of ties, 12 losses. And as we pointed out in the open, defensive play has made a big difference. Their goals against is 30 fewer than last year at this time. Ruutu leads the pass for Arneal. He doesn't have a stick as he was bumped, and Young headmans to Evison. Bodger broke up the rush. Babbitt has to run over Mogilny. Arneal intercepts, and he springs Alexander Mogilny. Takes on Dykstra. Mogilny shoots. A save by Sidorkovich. He has it between the leg pads, and he hangs on.
Well, this let the crowd here at the odd up a little bit. A fine move by Alexander Mogilny. This is a tough save for a goaltender when the player's cutting to his forehand. Here's the move on Dykstra. And I'll tell you, he's got a good wrist shot. But Peter Sidorkovich played this very professionally as he just got out and stood up as long as possible. That is a tough play. You know, Rick, but you were right before we went to the last break. The Whalers lit up after Paul McDermott in one shift took the body with a couple of punching checks, and they seemed to light them up.
Line forechecked very well last night. Of course, they were just formed last night for the Flyer game. Govidaris is on left wing with Ferraro and McDermott. And McDermott continues to throw his weight around in that Buffalo zone. Govidaris struggles against Ledyard. Chris goes down, and the puck squirts out of the zone. Lattiser has to hurry. He cuts off Turgeon. Ferraro with a pass to McDermott. Govidaris keeps it in. Broken up by the long arms of Dave Andreychuk. Under 7 minutes remaining in the third period. Hartford trails 4-2. Ferraro's on the attack, and quickly it's slapped away by Andreychuk as Cote angles the pass in. Dineen, Verbeek, and Francis hop over the boards. Burt and Shaw, 2 young defensemen who like to carry the puck and can make some plays, work behind him. Hartman with a crunching hit on Shaw. Here comes Burt. He gets it ahead to Francis. Ronnie tries to step through a couple of Sabres. He's held up. And Dineen heads back.
Rick, what the Whalers are trying is not going to work right now. One man can't beat four. They have to get it deep, like I said at the start of this period.
Verbeek will try. His shot is snuffed out.
The last four rushes have been broken up right inside the Sabre blue line.
Buf has had an easy period, with the exception of a couple of shots on him earlier in this third period. Here's Krupp. Gives it to McGuire. Hartman's with him. McGuire shoots. Saved by Sidorkovich. And he covers the puck with a whistle. 5:45 left here in the third period. Steve Dykstra has the puck on the Whalers defense. Young works it ahead to Evison. Bodger drives it right back in. Dykstra belted in there by Rob Ray. Babbage runs into Shepard. Doug Bodger, first-round pick from the Penguins, selected by Whalers general manager Ed Johnston back in '84. That was the year Lemieux was turning pro as well. Here's a shot stopped by Sidorkovich. Snuggerud working to get it in front. Shepard can't get his stick on it. Babbage cleared it away. The shot by Bodger dribbles through. It's poked away by Sidorkovich. Young is belted in there by Shepard. Ray hitting everything that moves. And Housley is back to take control. Rob Ray backhands it in, and Cote answers with a hit. Ruutu comes out, joined by Mogilny and Arneal for Buffalo. Ladouceur slides it in deep. Whalers get McDermott and Ferraro. Chris Govidaris on the ice. Chris Govidaris trying to get it over to Ferraro. Kennedy recovered, kept in. McDermott to Ferraro, and he let it go just wide. Kennedy runs into Govidaris. Ferraro trying to slip it in front. Does. Govidaris can't get his stick on it. Ladouceur plays it to Ferraro. Govidaris shoots. It's off Ledger's leg, and it's chipped away. And out to Alexander Mogilny. The drive. Glove save, Peter Sidorkovich. Govidaris pushes it ahead to Paul McDermott. Ferraro lugs it in as Cote joining him on the attack, and the play will be whistled offside by Lazarowicz. 3:52 to go here in the third period.
With just under 4 minutes left, this is the time where the Whalers defensive have got to stay in. They got to create some scoring chances.
Burt and Shaw work behind the Francis line to try to generate that attack. Krupp touched that puck, so there's no whistle for the hand pass. Verbeek plays it across to Shaw. That's a goal! A save by Pupa. Francis deflected the pass on goal, and somehow it stayed out of the net. Andrechuk chops it to Foligno. He'll relieve the pressure.
Boy, oh boy, this might have went off the inside leg of Pupa.
Verbeek going to get it into Francis. They're held up at the line. Foligno swerves into the Hartford zone. He's met by Shaw. Adam Burt leads it too far for Verbeek. Under 3 minutes remaining in the third period. Whalers got as close as 4-2 and a goal late in the second period on Young's 10th of the season. And we've had no scoring since then. Hartman angles it off the glass. Babbage keeps it in. Hartman takes it. Leads it by McGuire. Sidorkovich is out to play the puck away. Parker's there, fires toward the net. It's tipped on goal. A save by Sidorkovich. The puck is loose. And Babbage has it. As McGuire was lurking around that net, comes up with a puck once again, hits Hartman. He passes in front. It's deflected by Mikhail Anderson. Hartman gave it up to Young. Just over 2 minutes to go now in the third.
It's a tough line to describe, Hartman, Parker, McGuire. They're a pretty good offensive line.
How are they ever showing confidence?
I tell you, Dudley has had them on the ice in a lot of important times in this game, certainly after the first goal.
They've played it tough. They've contained the Whalers, and they've come up with a scoring chance. McDermott with a pass around to Anderson. 1:33 remaining in the third period as Kennedy angles it off the boards, and Burt takes it. And a chip to pass through. Kennedy knocks it down. Ferraro gets it from McDermott. Back to McDermott in front. The shot by Govaderas is stopped by Pupa, and he covers it up. 1:19 to go in the third, and the Sabres hang on to that 2-goal lead.
We're going to see a great save here by Darren Pupa, his best save of the game. Paul McDermott, one of the better Whalers this evening, gets a good pass to Chris Govaderas, and he just tries to redirect the pass Pupa, but Pupa slid the legs out. Alan Mike Liute and made the save.
Sidorkovich comes out to play the puck away from Foligno. Cote has to head back for it. 1:04 remaining. Kevin Dineen held up. Now he had the puck brought away by Foligno to Turgeon. Sidorkovich leaves it for Cote. 50 seconds to go. The Whalers were looking to get Sidorkovich off had they been able to gain control in that Buffalo zone, but the Sabres have had it their way right from that draw. Cote, the pass off the Dineen's stick. Ramsey angles it off the boards, and Sidorkovich, after starting toward the bench, has to turn back again. Sabres by 2 with 30 seconds remaining. And now Sidorkovich will stay put as Ramsey plays it to the corner. Dineen sends it out between the point men. The Buffalo Sabres will retain their nearly unblemished record on home ice. They have played only one tie at home, and this will be their 10th win. They're the only unbeaten club in the NHL on home ice. And this will run their string now to 14 games with only one loss. They'll be 10-1-3 in their last 14 after Pupa gets some refreshment here and 3 seconds elapsed to win the game.
Well, they did it tonight with sound defense at crunch time coming out of the third period. The Whalers really had a chance in the first 10 minutes by Kevin Dineen, and Pupa made a good save. He was out far in Kevin Dineen to make the save, and the last save on Govaderas. And the Whalers had a 2 or 3 minute spurt in the second period, and I thought the second period was 90% Sabres, and that's how they won this hockey game.
They scored 3 unanswered goals to take control. At 4-1, the Whalers came up with a goal to make it closer. And the foghorn sounds as the Sabres now stand alone atop the overall standings in the NHL with